Hopefully successful, hopefully awesome. Excited to do another round. If it's your first time here, welcome. We'll be getting started here in just a minute to give some people time to pop in here. While we are waiting for that, I would love for you guys to pop it in the chat. Where are you from? Where do you sell real estate? So we can send referrals to each other and network and all of the things. My name is Jen, by the way. We are actually live everywhere and in this Zoom. So those of you who registered, great job, because after this, you're actually going to get a recap of everything that we talk about. So any of the scripts that I go over, you don't have to be frantically writing them down. I have a lot of stuff to go through, so I will be talking fast per usual, but don't worry about it, because I will get you a recap with everything that we talk about. So pop it in the chat. Where are you from? And where do you sell real estate? Yeah, we let the machine do it for us. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me get all of this set for us. And also, just as a heads up, as we're going through, feel free to pop your questions in the chat, whether you're live or you're here on Zoom. And when I get through, I'm going to have a Q&A session so we can revisit anything that you've got questions about. And then at the end too, you can also come off mute and ask me anything. So let us dive right into this. So like I said, welcome you guys to Follow Up is Forever. Whether you guys are catching this live or you're catching the replay, this training, it will absolutely change the way you think about follow-up, which is why we're all here. So I am Jen. If you don't know me, I am licensed in 3 states. I lead teams in Florida, Oregon, and Washington. And I'm also the founder of The Hype Collective, which is my group coaching program for agents who are ready to stop playing small and to start scaling with real systems. If you are already inside the Hype Collective, you know what this is about. If you're not, you are about to get a little taste of it. So this is not just like another session about how to check in without sounding annoying. Like, that's not what we do here. This is about building real loyalty and momentum with real conversations that actually lead you to closings, which all of us need more of. So not just drip campaigns, but because like you actually care about your clients and you know how to communicate like a closer. And look, I don't care how introverted or awkward you think you are. There's all personality types in real estate. You do not have to be the loudest one in the room to be the most trusted in your client's inbox. You just have to follow up with intention. I actually built my business on cold calls, and like real cold. We're talking expireds, FSBOs, renters, relocation buyers who, ghosted other real estate agents. I didn't have referrals or a giant sphere. And I definitely didn't have a fancy network when I got started. But what I did and what I took control of is my consistency, the clarity, and the follow-up system that made people believe in me before they even met me. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A follow-up system that you can actually use and that makes sense and works with the flow of your business, that it'll help you stand out even when the lead is looking at 5 other agents or like checking out other people on their Instagram stories and all the things, because there is competition out there. And with social media, digital marketing, all of the things, there is more competition. So if your follow-up game isn't strong, you're going to be struggling with that. And then this also isn't just about buyers and sellers. It's about how you speak to your past clients, maybe people who ghosted you 6 months ago, or your warm leads and your social sphere. So this is going to help you with a system for all of those leads. So really anyone who should be in your pipeline, but maybe isn't responding. So how this works is I'm going to be walking you guys through 3 big shifts that really change things for me. And they're the same methods that I actually teach inside the Hype Collective. They are super simple, they're repeatable, and way more effective than like any drip campaigns in your CRM system. So I will give you real life phrasing. You're going to get real examples of stuff, and then multiple formats that you can also start using literally today. So like text, voice notes, DMs, post-closing engagement. So you'll leave with that whole playbook that we talk about today. And if you want the full system for all of this, you can. Anyone licensed anywhere with any brokerage, you can join the Hype Collective. If you use, because you guys are showing up today, I'm giving you a code for 30% off. It's follow30. You will get instant access to all of the templates that I'm going to be referencing today. And, but even if you just take notes and implement this free training, your lead flow is absolutely going to improve. So let's jump into it. First up, we're going to be talking about how to follow up like a friend, not a salesperson. So if your messages feel a little stiff or scripted, or you're nervous that you're just bothering somebody, we're going to fix that today. So How do we stop following up like a salesperson and start actually following up like somebody that they already trust? And when I say that, I'm not telling you to pretend that they're your BFF. Okay, there's that line, but I am telling you to follow up the same way that you talk to people that you respect. Right? People that you respect, you speak with confidence and you've got intention, and there's not weird energy and fear of being rejected. Because the truth is, a lot of you sound hesitant when you follow up. You either over explain things or over justify or send messages that are tiptoeing around that fear of rejection that you have. And that energy bleeds through everything. So let's rewire that. I want you to think about somebody that you actually care about, a friend, a family member. Maybe it's a client that you worked with in the past that you really loved. Would you hit them with a cold, just following up to see if you're ready to buy yet? Like, no, you would say something like, hey, I saw this listing and it instantly made me think of you. Do you want me to send you a quick video walkthrough of it? Right? That's the type of tone that we're going to move into that's intentional. It's lighthearted, it's helpful, and human at the very least. So I want to give you a couple examples that you can steal immediately from me. Here's a text that you could do. You could say, hey, saw this place pop up and immediately thought of your style. Want me to run numbers or just send you a vibe check? Here's another example. Hey, I remember you said outdoor space was huge for you. This one just hit the market and has the sickest backyard. Want to peek inside? I love a voice note. Okay. Voice memos are the thing. Also, video text messages, phenomenal. Bonus points if you do those. Okay. So you could film a video of yourself doing this. You could do it in a voice memo and be like, hey, this is totally random, but I walked past this open house in XYZ neighborhood and it made me think of that conversation we had about your dream layout. No pressure, but if you want eyes on it, I got you. Okay. It can sound like you. You can, that is those messages are, it doesn't have to be your best friend, but it's a casual, calm, confident, collected way to reach out to people instead of feeling all tight and stiff and professional, whatever that means, to people you don't know. You can say stuff like this and send messages and follow up like this without it feeling awkward or weird. That is connection. Those things that I just said, that is service, that's helpful, that's actual follow up for people. Now, I know some of you are stuck because you feel like you don't know what to say unless they give you a green light. Like you're waiting for them to respond before you're feeling allowed or having that permission to reach out again. But let me free you from that. If you already had a conversation with someone, you do not need permission to follow up. You just need a reason to do it, which is what holds a lot of people back. And that reason can be a ton of things. It can be a listing, a stat, a local event, a renovation trend that's happening, school ratings. Like it literally doesn't matter. What matters is that it connects to something that they already told you they care about. You're not bothering them by doing that. You're showing them that you remember, even if you know hardly anything. Let's say it was a really quick phone call with a lead that you don't know. You know that they're interested in buying. They didn't even tell you what area. You can still say, okay, if you're a buyer and right now in 2025, what would be important to a buyer? Probably interest rates, probably what like is projected for the market. What are prices doing? Like there's things that can be helpful for a lead, even if you have minimal information about them. And now here's where your system comes in. So inside the Hype Collective, we built what I call the vault. This is hundreds of documents I give my members with scripts, templates, follow-ups. You can reach out in ways that aren't just about, hey, just checking in, following up. So it has stuff like market shifts, local changes, lifestyle tie-ins, neighborhood alerts, design inspiration, timing strategies, tons of different things for ideas for follow-up, because agents are always asking me, well, I don't know how, or I don't know what to say. I just feel like I'm bugging them. Because here's the thing, when you have a vault of things to say, you stop freezing, you stop asking that question and having that feeling of, I don't know what to follow up with. And you don't have to feel like you have to come up with something. Instead, you start leading and guiding and having authority with your follow-up. And when you lead, that is when people listen and they trust you, and then you have a higher conversion rate. So I do want to talk about timing a little bit. What kills your pipeline is ghost following. Okay. Ghost following is when you're watching their stories, you're maybe liking their posts, commenting on their stuff, right? Like trying to stay top of mind, but not actually saying anything. So I want to challenge you. If it has been more than 10 days since your last message to any of the leads that you got, and they didn't ghost you or reject you in a rude way, you are still in that window to restart without feeling awkward about it. So this is what I do. I'm going to give you an example of how to re-engage people with a message. So you could say something like, hey, I've been keeping my eye out for that open concept layout you wanted in XYZ area, and I might have found a good one. Do you still want me to send you these properties? No worries if your plans changed. That is direct. It is kind. It's helpful. It's respectful. You're not chasing them. You're checking the temperature with authority in doing that. Also, let's be real. Some of you are way overcomplicating this because you're scared of getting ignored or rejected. So you might write these long or drawn out paragraphs or apologizing as you're following up with them because you're afraid of that rejection. Or even worse, some of you let that lead slip through the cracks with zero follow up. We have to stop. We have to cut that out because that is not how closers communicate. And you don't need to convince anyone of anything. You need to just remind them why you're the one that they should be talking to. Two things. Your follow up should do two things, and that is it. Number one, you can write this down, make people feel seen and understood. That is one of the most basic emotional needs that everyone has. Make people feel seen and understood. Number two, make people feel safe moving forward with you. That is it. That is what your follow up strategy should do every single time. And if your current follow up system isn't doing that, you don't need a new lead source. You need to fix your follow up, which you're here. So freaking fantastic. Oh, I need to let people in. Jared, do you have the ability to do that? Let people in while I'm talking? If not, no worries. Okay. So before we jump into the next segment, I want to say this. If you want all of these messages pre-written, because I'm going to be giving you guys a ton of examples, not just as templates, but like real plug and play scripts in your exact tone. These are all, plus a ton more, are in the Hype Collective. I don't just teach theory. We actually give you the actual words to say and the automation flow that keeps it going when you're just too busy to think and you don't have ideas about, oh, what should I say to this person, right? So don't forget that code follow 30 gets you in for that 30% off. And I'm telling you guys, the follow-up section alone in that vault is worth double that. So you'll get my DM sequence. I have video prompts in there, post-close campaigns, and then re-engagement flows that you can literally copy paste. Or we also train you inside the Hype Collective. You could copy what I've got in there, paste it in your own chat GPT, have it spit out your exact brand tone. So now you guys can grab your notes because this next section, I'm going to be taking this from the inbox, which we're in everyone's inbox, right? Into the algorithm. We're going to talk a little bit about social media. So I want to show you how to follow up using video and social without being cringe, right? We're all about that. So we've cleared that way. You know you need to follow up, text, voice notes, and also I want to talk about one of the biggest missed opportunities, with which some people don't realize it's a missed opportunity because you might be posting on social media and using video as follow-up tools, but you're still missing the opportunity. I know some of you spend hours editing buyer guides and wondering why no one responds to your stories, or you are posting, pretty Canva graphics and spending way too much time on that. I'm telling you, please hear me. You do not need a fancy reel strategy. You need to start using what's already in front of you that you are downplaying: your face, your voice, and your feed to follow up in a way that sticks with people. You can send 50 text messages and still be forgettable, but one 15-second video with your face, your tone, and your energy, that locks you into someone else's mind. And that can be memorable and takes way less time and effort. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into two different lanes. We've got one-to-one video messaging. So sending a personalized text message video of you that you send to one person. And then we have the public social media content as a strategic follow-up. Okay, so those two areas of video I want to touch on. So here's how I use my one-to-one video messages. And I do this all of the time. If you have not tried sending video messages, highly, highly recommend. You get way bigger response rates from this because no other real estate agent is doing it. And I train my Hype Squad and Hype Collective agents to do this. Okay, so I will send a video text message to warm leads, past clients, cold leads who went quiet that I talked with before, and even referral intros that maybe haven't replied yet, or I'm just getting connected with from whoever referred it to me. And they work, like I said, because no one else is doing it and it stands out as very memorable. So I'm going to give you a quick script example that you do. You just hold your phone right up and say, "Hey, Sandra, I was just scrolling through listings in this area, and this one totally reminded of what you said about needing that flex space for your studio. Thought I'd send it your way. Let me know if it's a fit, no pressure." Literally takes you 10 seconds, face to camera, no weird sales energy, and your response rate is through the roof on this stuff. You guys, I have story after story, not only of myself, but the agents that I coach in the Hive Collective that start doing this are like, "Oh my gosh, it worked. I got a response back." There's so many different ways that this is impacting people's business. And it's easier, you guys. You just have to get over yourself and being afraid to be on camera, or the fact that you don't have makeup on, you don't look perfect. Literally, no one cares. They're going to remember the fact that you are the only real estate agent that sent them a video text. And I literally don't care how awkward you think you are on camera. You do not need to film this a million times. Think about this. Most of us, a lot of people, are already FaceTiming with our friends and family. You're already probably posting stories, but you just haven't built that muscle of doing it intentionally for your business. So that's where I want you to have that mental shift as creating connection through video, yes, and also one-on-one with people in your business, even if it's leads you don't know. I promise you don't need a ring light. You just need a reason to do that. Oh, and a bonus tip inside the Hype Collective, I give you guys a complete video DM flowchart for all of this. It literally tells you exactly what to say in your first video, your second follow-up, and how to pivot if they still ghost you. That thing is absolute gold. And don't forget, code follow30 to get inside, and you can literally pull it up during this live or during the replay if you're watching this as a replay. So the second lane of this is using public content as private follow-up. So this is where it gets really, really powerful. If you are already posting, let's say you're doing a great job of being consistent, you've got market updates, memes, home tours, behind the scenes, all the things. Don't let that content die on your feed. Use it as an opening line to create a personal connection with someone. So for example, let's just say somebody watched your story about rising interest rates. DM them personally and say, "Hey, I saw you caught that rate update I posted. Are you still thinking about buying this year? I have a couple financing hacks that might actually help. Want me to send them over?" Boom. That's not marketing. That's a conversation that you created out of a public post that you did. And it's you're weaving in your different lead generation strategies into conversion. So another one that I really like, let's just say someone likes your a listing reel that you posted of a house. Okay, you can say, "Hey, that place already went pending," or, "Hey, that place is still available," whatever it is, whatever the story is on that property. If you like that layout, here's a new one that's off market, or here's another one I saw in that same area that's coming soon. Do you want early access to that? So again, you're not pitching anything, you're positioning yourself. And also, don't get it twisted, you guys, likes, views, and comments, those are buying signals. Most agents ignore them, but closers will follow up with every single one. If you want your pipeline to be drastically different in 90 days from now, just doing this consistently and not ignoring those things and taking your social media content and making it personal with the people that are engaging, you'll have a completely different business in 90 days. Also, pro tip, keep a saved list of story viewers who consistently watch your real estate content. That is your soft pipeline. Your hard pipeline is like who is in your CRM and people that have actively reached out to you and all the other ways. But your soft pipeline are those people, the lurkers in your social media account. Okay. So a way to think about this is recognizing attention as intent. So assume if someone likes something or engages with something that there's some intent behind that, whether that means they're ready tomorrow or they're ready next year, those are still people that you want to be following up with. And I actually built that system inside the Hype Collective. I call it the social tracking light, and it helps you see who's already watching so that you can build trust before they ever need you to convert them in the traditional sense of when we think about it. So it's that follow-up without the pressure, and it works super fast when you do it right. Okay, I want to give you one more real world example before we move on. So I actually had a buyer lead. This was a couple months ago from TikTok. She watched my stories 3 times in 1 week. She had not replied to my DMs for about a month because I had what like one interaction from before, right? But I noticed that I'm like, oh, okay, she kind of resurfaced. She's watching my stuff. So I sent her like a 12-second video and it said something along the lines of, hey, no pressure at all, but I saw you catching my stuff earlier this week. And I want to say, if you're still looking, I totally have your back. I'm not going to spam you, but I will make sure that you have the best shot when the time comes. Are you in? Something along those lines. She literally responded to me in 5 minutes. I got her under contract in 12 days. That is the power of showing up with energy and being intentional around your video, your socials, and engaging with people, not desperation. That's what video and social can be when you stop treating them like random content and start treating them like tools. So, if you want those exact scripts that I just read off, plus more, they are all in the Hype Collective, plus a ton of stuff. So, if you're already in, you just go to the follow up vault. And if you're not in yet, here's your sign code follow30 gets you inside with immediate access. And trust me, this is not just a bunch of bland PDFs that are in there. They are actual systems that make you money that are plug and play. Okay, I want to get to the part that y'all pretend not to care about, but it's secretly you stress about it the most, and it's referrals. Okay. Not because you don't want them, they are the longest hanging fruit, but because asking for them actually feels like begging and you get super awkward. Like, oh, like if you know of anyone buying or selling and you're afraid to ask, or you just avoid it completely and hope that they randomly tag you or cross your fingers that they tell someone at their family event if they're looking to buy or sell. So, no more doing that. If you are showing up with value and you're staying visible and you're following up in a way that actually feels real, you don't have to chase referrals. They start to come to you, but you do have to design for it and be intentional about it. You have to build a follow up that creates that trust, triggers their memory of you, and then opens the loop for them to pass a referral on to you. So, this is exactly how I do it. Number one, tell stories, not sales updates. If you want people to refer you, start telling better stories. And this will help you in every aspect of sales. And I don't mean personal trauma dumps or like market reports. What I mean by stories is about the people that you have helped and then how you helped them win. So, for example, instead of posting, hey, congrats to my buyer for closing on this cute 3-bed, 2-bath house. Okay, instead of that, post something like, when Sandra said they needed a bigger home, but were scared of selling and buying at the same time, we came up with a custom plan that gave them a cushion and leverage. Today, they just closed on their dream home. Can you feel that difference? That story helps help someone watching in a similar situation say, oh, wait, like that sounds like me. That's the story that gets screenshotted, or that story gets sent to their spouse and being like, oh my gosh, well, this person did it. And hey, you should reach out to that agent. Okay, I'm telling you, every single time I do a story like that, I get a DM that's, hey, my friend said you might be able to help, or oh, you know what? I'm going to send this to my mom. She's been wanting to move, but she's afraid that blah, 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 whatever reason, right? That is one of the most powerful stories that you can tell. And here's the thing, if you're a newer agent and maybe you don't have stories like that, I bet you have a team leader. I bet you have other agents that are successful in their office. And you could just be like, hey, tell me about that story, and be like, hey, what's really awesome is my company helped these buyers do da da da, insert story. Okay. You don't have to necessarily have this exact story either. Okay. You could talk about stories of how you helped a buyer go from thinking she had to wait 6 months before she'd be approved to getting her with your preferred lender and got her approved in 2 weeks. So a number of different stories along those same lines that helps people see how you helped your current clients get to where they want to go. So that is follow up turning into a referral fuel, all because you told the right story. All right, another strategy is celebrating the client, not your stats or your ego. So if all your social posts are about you, your wins, your stats, look how many homes I sold, look at this award I just won, not saying you can't post those at all, but if that's all it is, you're forgettable, because lots of agents do that. Okay. If you want referrals, you make the client the main character in that post. So let the world know how you showed up for them, not how many homes you sold. So, as an example, to flip this, you say, helping Susie and Billy and their family relocate with 2 kids, a 3-week timeline, and 1 virtual showing was super intense, but It was totally worth it. That moment they walked in for the first time and saw it in real life, that is why I do this. So that story, that's going to elicit emotion. That builds trust with people, and that's what gets shared. And what's really cool, you guessed it, inside the Hype Collective, I give you 10 pre-built referral storytelling prompts that you can plug into play or plug and play into your follow-up flow before the sale even happens, also during the deal and after the close. So imagine having some story prompts in all areas of the conversion and closing timeline literally in the vault for you, because sometimes the best follow-up, you guys, isn't to your client, it's to their network. And that's how you combine the follow-up, the getting the referrals, by making it public and personal. Okay, the third strategy is a post-close. The post-close strategy, because post-closing is still follow-up. You have to stop treating like the closing as the end. Closing is the beginning of your long game. If you want to be in real estate for a long time, you got to continue to follow up with people after closing. And remember, every single client is a marketing asset if you stay in touch the right way. So I'll give you an example of, at minimum, what I do to stay in touch and top of mind with my clients that just closed. Month one, every single time. Month one is, how's the house treating you? Send me pics of what you've started decorating. Send me pics of the remodel that you're doing. Okay, so month one, that is what I dropped. Month three, I dropped something local, like a local guide, a home ownership checklist for that season. Maybe it's an event, a community event that's happening of where they just moved, something that they're actually going to use. And by that time, since you close with them, you're going to know some things about what they like, what they're interested in, so you can really personalize that one. Next is month six. Check in on their, whatever, their estimate or their whatever algorithm, or even your own comps. Like, hey, I was running some comps. I still think you won deal of the year on this. You got such a good deal. Your property's worth this, or this other home sold for $25,000 more down the street for you, and it's only 6 months later. That's amazing news. Okay, so something stat related, real estate related, month six. And then month 12, every single year on their home anniversary, send a message to them always. It could be a cute meme, a quick video. Maybe if they're a VIP client, do a gift drop off of a congratulations. Doesn't matter. It just reminds them that you still care and that they still matter to you, even though the deal is done. And when you show up like that consistently, and you guys, that was what, one, two, that's 4 touch points a year. 3, potentially 4 of them literally would take you 2 minutes or less to do. Can you spend 8 minutes a year to follow up and stay top of mind with your past clients, to get referrals, and to be the agent that they choose in 3, 5, 7 years when they want to go buy a property again? And when you show up like that, guess who they are going to refer before anyone else asks? Because most agents aren't following up like this. And it's not hard to do this, you guys. It's just a little bit of consistency and follow up all throughout the year that literally takes you less than 10 minutes to do. So that's literally how referrals happen without ever having to be weird about it or disingenuous. You got reminders in your CRM system, and you just do the thing that it tells you to do on that day. That was 4 ideas, all different things to send or say within an entire year. And you just repeat that every single year. Okay, so the next strategy is engage publicly, follow up privately. So this one's fast, but it's major, because when a past client posts something on Instagram, do what you normally do, right? Comment, react, engage, but don't stop there. Take the extra step and send a follow-up message based on that moment. So for example, let's just say they got a new job. Text them and say, hey, so proud of you. When's the promotion party? When do you start your new job? Okay, because there's going to be, anytime someone posts a big milestone on social media, what happens? Everyone starts, their cousin, their mom, their friend, their high school, whatever. So there's this long list of comments. And when that person who posted that, they're going to either write one message that says, thanks everyone, or just go click it. This is me, like, and that's it. Because everyone's saying the same thing. But guaranteed, 99.9% of those people that commented on that post are not going to go outside of their way to go text that person. So again, keeping you top of mind takes 1 extra minute to just send a personalized text to them. Bonus points if you send a little bit of text. Hey, congratulations, right? Okay, they're on vacation. Text them, hey, you earned that view in Cabo. So happy for you guys. That's it. Kid's birthday. Happy birthday to Kayla, best backyard soccer player in the city. Okay, just whatever. It's 1-line sentences, just taking 1 extra minute when you see a major milestone that they post on social medias. Okay. And also, you can actually build this as a follow up system too. Okay. 5 past clients a day or 2 past clients a day. I'm going to go check their socials, comment, send a personalized text. You could literally do all that in 5 to 10 minutes. But doing that daily ensures that they're getting reach outs from you on a consistent basis all throughout the year. Super easy. And it's not fluff, you guys. This is actual relationship equity. And it's how I stay top of mind when every other agent just sends a holiday postcard, okay, and calls that connection. So if you want referrals, you have to make people feel like you see them after the transaction. Super, super important. This is actually something that I had to get better at the further along that I went, because I was a cold caller. I built my business cold calling, and I was just churn and burn a little bit at the very beginning because that's what I was taught to do. And then all of a sudden I realized I started getting repeat referrals and things like that. And so I really honed in on, what does my post-closing follow-up look like? It's just as important as your cold call follow-up or the beginning stage of that lead to get them into a closing. Okay, so before we get into questions, because I want to give you guys Q&A stuff and all of that. But I'm going to give you a bonus section first, because it's the one that I actually get messaged about a lot. What do I say to cold leads that ghosted me? Okay, this comes up a ton in my meetings with my Hype Squad, Hype Collective, and our group coaching stuff. And the truth is, all of you have probably been ghosted because you're trying to re-engage with hope and you're crossing your fingers kind of vibe instead of a strategy. And so you kind of fall along the spectrum of either too soft or too aggressive. So I want to walk you through 3 ways to revive a cold lead without sounding thirsty or passive or desperate. Okay. So number 1 is the door opener DM. So this is the gentlest reentry, but it still has weight behind it. So for example, you could say something like, "Hey, David, I had a few homes pop up that fit what you were looking for a while back. Not sure if you're still in the market, but if you are, I've got some good ones. Do you want me to shoot you the links or hold off for now?" Okay, that's just the door opener. You're giving them a way in and a way out. Okay, get it? Door opener. Okay, because both of those options, whatever you chooses, is without guilt. That is what makes it powerful. Is because you're putting the ball in their court, but also getting a little temperature pulse check on where they're at. Another one I like to do is the status reset. So let's just say your convo fell off and it's been weeks or even months, and you're like, oh, maybe you dropped the ball and not following up, or they've ghosted you, whatever. Say something like, "Hey, I'm just cleaning up my notes and I realized I never circled back with you. Are you still thinking about buying, selling, investing, whatever it is this year, or has the plan shifted?" Totally good either way. Just wanted to update my end. That line about totally good either way, that removes that pressure and makes you still feel like a pro, not a salesperson. And it works, right? Because you're having concern like, "Hey, just want to make sure I'm not dropping the ball. Want to make sure I'm here if that's still something that's on your radar." And then the third one is the confidence close. So this one is going to be for when you know that the lead was serious, but they've been dragging. We actually just talked about this today in my Hype Squad meeting. Somebody had a lead that's like, "Oh man, in the beginning, they were all gung ho about it, but now they just seem like they're dragging their feet." So an example of what you can say to that lead in that situation is, "Hey, totally understand if now's not the right time, but if you're still serious about this move, I'll make sure you do not miss your window. Do you want me to put you on my short list this week?" Notice how I'm not saying, "Hey, just checking in to see if you're still interested." We got to be done with that energy. If you have followed me at all, we are not saying just checking in, just thought I'd see if. None of that energy ever. We are replacing checking in with checking up. We're reminding them that you're still the one who can actually help them move forward, not just a touch base. So that is what's going to separate you from literally everyone else that is sitting in their inbox, sending them automated emails and texts. Okay. If you do not have a cold lead strategy, your pipeline will always feel like a guessing game. So that is why I created the Hype Collective. And inside, I give agents a full lead conversion flow. We're talking messages, voice note scripts, follow up content, and the system to support it. So if you feel like your inbox or your CRM is full of people who stopped replying to you, you can go run this section again and again, like watching the replay, because these messages will change how people respond to you, just with a slight tone change, just with changing up the verbiage a little bit, because you'll be showing up like the one agent who is not afraid to lead them, regardless of how long it's been since they ghosted you. So every single strategy I just gave you, you can build out, automate it, personalize it inside our Hype Collective. It's not like I'm not out here saying, be authentic and then just giving you a bunch of scripts that sound like a robot. Okay. We give you content that feels like you and sounds like you and builds loyalty without making you feel icky. And we show you how, like I said, to use ChatGPT to even dial it even more into your tone and your brand identity. So if you guys are already in the Hype Collective, which I know some of you in here are, the vault content is like literally chef's kiss. But if you're not in there yet, do not forget to use the code follow30. I will get you instant access to the entire post close and the referral strategy vault immediately, that we talked about today. So let's open it up to some Q&A for you guys. If there's any questions, we can check the chat. Oh, what's up, Jackson? We're live here on multiple channels, but yeah, I want to open it up, you guys. Feel free to come off mute, post it in the chat. What questions do you have for me? Or struggles? Like maybe you've got a lead. You're like, hey, there's this one person that I just can't seem to get off of the bench here to go play. It can be literally about anything, follow-up, or even real estate. I am here. I am here to answer all the things. Quentin, how's follow-up going today in the library? He's like, I can't talk. It's the library.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's going great.
Good. Are you making those calls?
I was just actually going. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually going through my CRM now on Bold Trail and kind of going back and doing some follow-up. I need to be more consistent at it every day. So That's what I'm kind of lacking.
That is huge, you guys. That system for follow-up, I'm glad you mentioned that. And that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people feel. It's like you open up your CRM, you're just like, how do I know who's most important? What do I do? And so that's part of it. And that's, and obviously in our Hype Collective Vault, we have those systems, those processes. One thing that I love, it is very, very simple, but in the Hype Collective Vault, I have a follow-up strategy that is for any lead that you can apply. And basically it tells you when a new lead comes in, regardless of where it comes from, how many calls and touch points do you actually, Quentin, I'm gonna put you on the spot. How many calls at minimum, how many touch points should you reach out to a brand new lead that you've never spoken to within the first 2 weeks?
I believe it's 2 calls a week.
No, Quentin, that's okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. So you guys, the average conversion rate for a new lead to a conversion for them to agree to work with you is between 6 to 12 contacts, right? 6 to 12 reach outs. And that actually works along multiple conversion stages of that lead. So for example, it usually takes about 6 to 12 phone calls sometimes to even reach a lead, especially if they're cold. So what I like to do in my follow-up strategy, especially if it's a cold new lead, or not even cold, like to me, they're warm if they signed up on your website and went into your CRM because they physically had to put in their contact information.
Right.
So I have a follow-up system where I have 10 phone call reminders in 2 weeks. So I'm calling about 2 times the very first day, once a day for the next 4 days, then every other day for the next week, and then once a week for a month, then twice a month for the next month, and then once a month forever after that until I reach them. Because if you actually think about it, you guys, most agents, they give up after the second or third call. That's the average. But you have to know that the average conversion rate is between the 6th to 12th call. And then similarly, to get them to answer the phone, once they answer the phone, it also takes about 6 to 12 contacts, whether that's like a text message back and forth between them or another phone call, follow-up phone call, maybe a Zoom meeting you have with them. It takes about 6 to 12 communication touch points before they actually convert to sign with you. And this is, again, specifically when it's somebody that you don't know. Obviously, those conversion rates are easier when it's a referral or somebody that you know. But on average, the people that you don't know, that's the average conversion rate, which is why within the first 2 weeks, I am getting more than what the average touch points are. I'm reaching out more than the average within those first 2 weeks, and then just slowly tapering it off after then. And ultimately, I'm not going to stop calling those people or stop reaching out. If you notice, I said once a month forever until they buy or sell a house with me, tell me to F off, or they pass away. Those are the only reasons, right? And that I would end the communication. And actually, if they buy or sell a house for me, that it also doesn't stop with post-closing stuff. Oh, we have a question from Esther. If I target an area that there's no or low inventory, how can I find leads from owners in the neighborhood? That is a great question. There are lots of resources, anywhere from free to paid, to find access to that. So, some free ways to do that would be to talk with your title company if you're in a title company state. Title companies oftentimes have really awesome resources for real estate agents, including getting contact information for various types of leads. So you could call up your title company and say, hey, I want to farm in this particular area for listing leads. Can you get me contact information for this zip code? And I would also recommend putting in some filters in that. You can have them, at least I know my title company does this for me. You could say, hey, I want owners in this particular neighborhood or these neighborhoods that have owned their home for at least 3 years, that are owner occupied properties. Or maybe you want absentee owners because maybe there's a renter in there and you want to call up the owner and, whatever. So give them a couple parameters, also give them price point, like in these price points. And then you can get a really tailored list of those types of properties. So that's one way, a free way to do that. Some MLSs, and again, you have to just check with your MLS and their third-party companies, but Remine, Remine, is a company that if they partner, well, you can pay for it if they don't partner with your MLS. But in certain areas, they actually partner with an MLS company, and you can get free contact information for circle prospecting as well. So those are a couple potential free ways. I love a company called Vulcan 7. A lot of my team members in the Hype Collective use Vulcan 7. It gives you a power dialer, and it also gives you leads that are FSBOs, expireds, for rent by owners, and they have a circle prospecting tool where you can narrow in, okay, this is the area that I want to sell in, I want to call for listings, and you can utilize that. So Vulcan 7 is amazing for that if you've got some money that you can spend on that. Also, I really like LeadFlow. LeadFlow is a phenomenal company that uses AI to help you target properties that have a high propensity to sell in the next 90 days. So those are a couple paid programs, and LeadFlow I think is only like $99 a month to get access to 3 different zip codes using their AI to target people who have a high likelihood to sell. So hopefully that gives you a few ideas to run towards. Also highly recommend popping into and checking out the Hype Collective, because we guys and talk about all these lead generate and how to do it well, and obviously the follow-up piece of it. And if you guys, if you follow me on any of my social platforms, and if you guys are live or you're watching this as a replay, you can check out any of my profile links on my socials to check out the Hype Collective link. And we'll also paste it, Jared, if you want to paste the Hype Collective website in the Follow-Ups Forever. And if you registered for this, you guys, those of you in the Zoom, you'll be getting a recap email with all the things that we talked about today, as well as the code FOLLOW30 to get 30% off as a thank you for joining us today. I have people waiting. Okay. Oh, was that an old message? Jer, who's waiting? Are they waiting? Did I miss a question? Oh, Manny, whoops. Sorry, Manny. He was trying to pop in. Okay, any other questions that you guys got? What do you got for me? Let's check TikTok. Oh, who do I use for title? Okay, well, I'm licensed in 3 different states. So I've got a handful of title companies that I use. In Oregon, I really like a Tycor Title. In Washington, I use Fidelity. In Florida, I use Aligned. And yeah, so it honestly, what's more important when you're choosing whether it's a title company or any vendor, contact who the sales are, like make sure that whoever's doing the service. For title companies, you've got the escrow officer, right? That's really important that they know what they're doing and that you have a good relationship with them. And if they have a sales rep, the sales rep is interested in keeping you happy. The escrow agent is usually someone that's like the paperwork person and all of that, right? So I would want to talk with both the sales rep and the escrow officer to find out how they function. Do they have a similar vibe as you? Do they have urgency and want to earn your business? So I would call up a handful of them in your area and interview them. Like, hey, I'm looking for a title rep, and I want to see what you've got to offer and what you give to real estate agents to help them sell more real estate. That's a good question. What else you guys got? Oh, and feel free to if you commented way earlier and you want to repost your question, feel free to do that. Let's see if I missed any. What's up, Mia? Oh, and thank you. In the Zoom, Jeremy just posted the link to join the Hype Collective because we go way deeper into all of these aspects. And then just so you guys know, every single month on the third Tuesday of the month, same time, I do a Follow Up is Forever event and I talk about different things. So if this was helpful for you and you're like, I know I need to level up on this, go register for the next Follow Up is Forever. That way you get the Zoom link in advance. We'll be talking about different concepts with it and you'll get that recap email with everything that we talked about today. What else we got? Is everyone feeling really good about your follow-up? You know exactly what to do. You know, to say, oh, Esther, again, let's do it. How can you find title companies that give a discount for you as a realtor and for your clients as well? So, that's just something I would point blank ask them and say, hey, if I commit to sending you my clients and using you as a title company, are there any discounts that you offer if I'm, like if you're my preferred title company? So I would just flat out ask that, number one. Number two, if you're a high producer, then some of it is establishing a relationship, and once you show that you have consistent business that you can send to them, then that's another point of leverage where you could call them up and be like, hey, now that I've sent you a handful of deals or whatever and you see my production, is there anything that you can do to help my clients out so that when I tell them that they should choose you, that hey, here's why, we're going to give you a little discount on the fees. So that's mutually beneficial, right? Because it helps them get more a discount and keep more money in their pocket. It also helps you because that's value you can give people. Like, hey, you work with me. I've got vendor and title companies, lenders, whatever, that are going to give you a good deal because I have a good relationship with them. I would create a vendor spreadsheet. I have this in all states that I'm licensed in, a vendor spreadsheet of all the different things that you can think of. I mean, anything from window washers to house cleaning to title to lending to contractors, like all the things, and start building that database, that network. This is a great thing. I know this is Follow Up is Forever, but this is great to also follow with your vendors. And because you can tie all of this in, you guys, I've got a million ideas flying. Let's say you do a monthly newsletter for your entire database. You could call up vendors that either that or that you're trying to establish a relationship with and say, hey, I've got a database of 2,000 clients. I feature a local business or vendor every single month on there. If you offer 10%, would you want to offer a discount and me email out your company to my entire database this month and feature you as our local vendor? So there's lots of different ways where you can make it a win-win all the way around and help that follow up and have things to say. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I have to email people once a month, like a news. I don't know what to say. Well, boom, there's an idea to include in your newsletters that you send out to your clients as discounts on certain things. You can do that with local businesses, the vendor partners you use in real estate, so many different ways to do that. Thank you, Esther, for your questions. Keep them coming. You've got good ones. Quentin, you got anything? You feeling solid?
Yeah, I'm feeling solid. Just got to do it.
100%. That's more than half the battle. It's just doing it. Like Nike said, let's go. Awesome. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. Again, all of the links are in my profile. It'll also be linked to the replay for this video, wherever you're watching it, and you will get access to all of it. Don't forget your code FOLLOW30. Go get 30% off. Who doesn't love a discount? Speaking of discounts, you get 30% off just by showing up here and working on your business. So also, you can join my newsletter. If you go check out my link tree, tons of ways to get connected, and I post content literally all the time, every day, and I'm constantly talking with real estate agents. If you have something specific, like maybe you're wondering about the coaching programs I have, I just opened up actually one-on-one coaching as well as the group coaching program that I have. So feel free to schedule a call with me from my Linktree link, and it's a quick 15 minutes. You can ask me any question you want about what you need. So hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. Thanks for joining the Follow Up is Forever event, and I will see you next month or on live. Bye. Fantastico. Hello, everybody that are still live. We've ended the Zoom, but we're here live. I must be going I have a trip to pack and prep for. I've got a listing to make live. We've got to do all the things, but thank you so much for joining. That was Follow Up is Forever. Like I said, every single month I do it on the third Tuesday of the month. We go over different aspects of it. So if you're just joining and you missed it, don't worry. The replay will be posted very shortly for you guys. And I hope you learned something. I hope you go and implement this stuff in your business. And I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your Tuesday. And I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.